Araujo baby coming in clutch with a last minute equalizer. What a result for Barcelona, but don't get it twisted. This game doesn't really matter. What matters, as we all know, what we all really, really care about is El Clásico of, well, next weekend. And there's some certain things about this game, about this result 2-1 for Barcelona against Girona that leave me, well, sort of calm for the game, but there are other things that leave me very, very worried. So let me explain. But let me start off right away by saying, guys, that, well, as you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. I'm actually remodeling the recording studio, you could say, that room. And it has taken a little bit longer than I anticipated. So that's why we are here in another room of my apartment. So, well, that's what you get. You get to see my fat ass over there when I graduated from university. But anyhow, who cares about that, right? Who cares about studies? What we care about is football. And basically, because I don't want to waste more of your time, I just want to say that Barcelona, in other words, today won with one route football. Hansi Flick said, you know what, I understand that we don't have any attackers. Lewandowski is out injured. Ferran Torres is out injured. Lamine Yamal will not be able to play full 90 minutes. Rafinha is out. Rashford is our main only threat. You know what? Let's just put Araujo up top. Let's just put Ronald Araujo, our center back, our biggest, most imposing presence. Let's just put him up front. Let him be Peter Crouch. Let him be Andy Carroll. Let him be, I don't know, any other target man. Let him just do his thing. Let Araujo cook as a striker. And boy, did Araujo cook today. I think that at the end of the day, this is a resort that in football, I just always like this phrase. Football sometimes is much more simple. And sometimes all you need is just that. You just need a big guy in the box with balls, being thrown at him. And that's what happened. Frank de Jong got an overlap through the right-hand side, pass from Koundé. Then he puts the low cross into Araujo, and Araujo, bam, into the back of the net. Like, is that just how it works? That's just football in a nutshell. And if you just really want to understand this game really, really concisely, I just got to say that Barcelona played badly, but Hansi Flick understood how to substitute or how to change the tactics to feed what we are happening right now. What's happening right now and what's happening is an injury crisis. We cannot play the same way that Hansi Flick wants to play with the attacking prowess that we want to play when we have, these limited tools. So Hansi Flick actually shifted and mismatched a little bit of the tools and made something new happen. And he didn't revolutionize football. He actually went all the way to Sam Allardyce. He just went to normal football, and it worked. It worked out. And you know what? I like that. I like that because he adapted. And that for me is the most important thing for a manager. He needs to adapt. So I'm very proud for that, for Hansi Flick on that. And I'm actually very surprised that he decided to do something like that. Hansi Flick, for me, has sort of always been a manager that likes to stick with his one philosophy, but he decided to change it up here, and it worked. It worked out. So very good on the German manager. So if you just want to close this video now, great. You understood it, but there's still more to break down. I don't want to waste more of your time. Like this video, subscribe if you found anything valuable. But for the people that actually want to know more about the game and want to break it a little bit down even further, let's stay. Let's continue. The people that already just wanted to get their info out are out of this video. We can now stick with the real talk. So, start the game. Lamine Yamal as starting. That's a very, very big news. I think Hansi Flick called it out. I think Hansi Flick we've seen how passionate he was about this game, about this result. He has really been carrying some sort of pressure, not pressure, but pressure. What pressure? Some sort of pressure or some sort of, I don't know if pressure is a word. If you can tell another word in the comment box down below, let me know. But I think he has been sort of carrying something with him, because all of the questions in the press conference saying like, oh, you're mad with Deco because Lamine Yamal, he arrived late and you still played him because Deco sort of pressured you into it. And And he sort of said, no, that's bullshit. And today he said basically a very weird celebration. He did like the FU celebration, sort of like the I'm doing it off camera so I don't get demonetized. But you know the celebration that's like FU, right? When we score the winner. And that's sort of like, you can just see that Hansi Flick is really passionate about what's going on. And I think that he understands that the sort of what's happening with this team is far from his reach as a manager, maybe, and he's sort of been affected. I don't think necessarily this is a fault of Hansi Flick as a manager, but maybe the circumstances of where we are at now. We're getting sort of caught out or getting caught up by the fact that our squad is very thin, that we don't have that many profiles, the injuries that are quite a lot. And I think we're getting caught out by that. I think that sometimes the young players really they can be very inconsistent. You know, sometimes you get amazing starts like we've had last season, and sometimes you may get something like this. I think that you need to also, Hansi Flick needs to manage a little bit more the mentality of the players, particularly in this stage of the season, because we almost won everything last year, and sort of trying to win it again, it's very, very hard. And without the established veterans in the team, it's always going to be hard. And I think that that's where we struggled a little bit today, and particularly in overall throughout the season so far. So I think these are stuff or problems that are not particularly, down to tactical decisions or things that Hansi Flick can change. But you can see that he decided to go in and stick with Lamine Yamal. He decided to play Lamine Yamal regardless. He decided to play Pedri as well, who played a lot of minutes with Spain's national team. And I think they played very well. I think Lamine Yamal wanted to show what he's all about. He actually contributed with the assist for the very first goal from Pedri, which was a wonderful touch. Chef kiss. It was really, really good. It was sort of like playing pool, Yeah, like you sort of angle you could just see like the target line, like if it was like a video game, you could just see that he was going to bounce off the post and do something crazy like that. And that's what Pedri exactly did. Just a sole passing to the net. Pedri does have that. And I think that maybe he learned that from Messi, and just the passing to the net. Some players are just good like that because you don't need to shoot actually when you just have such a good position or such a good angle on goal, you can just really go for precision or accuracy over strength. And I think that that's what Pedri sort of summed up, particularly in this goal. And that was very, very good to see. So Lamine Yamal, Pedri, they played. I was very surprised to see, is it Tony Fernandez, the one who started today? There are so many Fernandez in this team, actually. There are 3 of them. Tony Fernandez, I think he had a good debut, but you can just see a little bit like Draw the other day that I think they're not a little bit off the pace, but it's just, this is not the same team as it was last season. I think that whenever it was last season, any player could get into this team and they would play particularly very, very well. Like I think the performances would have been like a 7, 8 out of 10. But I think here you could just see like a 5, 6, 10 out of 10. I think Draw the other day played really well, particularly well. I don't think that Tony Fernandez today also really impressed me a lot. He was substituted relatively early, for Fermin. So you could just see that the manager wasn't really impressed, or not impressed, but the fact that he wasn't creating that much impact into the game. I think the main issue so far we can see for Barcelona is definitely, and something you have to keep in mind if you are walking away from this video with one thing, is our offside trap is not nearly as good as it was last season. Íñigo Martínez, that is such a big miss, and I think we all know that. I think all really fan culés who really, really, really care about Barcelona do understand the big miss of Íñigo Martínez. And Íñigo Martínez was the leader when it comes for the offside trap. And I actually have a statistic for that. So 12, on average, Barcelona would leave offside 12 brain fart. Barcelona on average would leave the opposing team 12 times on offside per game. This season, Barcelona leaves the opposing team 5 times per game. So that means that we've dropped over 50%. That's almost like a 60-70% margin. And that's quite a lot. You can just tell that that's a big impact from a single player that is missing. And I don't know if Íñigo Martínez is the sole reason for that. But I would certainly would say that I don't know if I would bring a left-sided center back. Maybe next season, 100%. There's rumors of Nico Schlotterbeck, of Mark Wehi, of Alessandro Bastoni being, the ideal target. But we do need something else in our team in that sense. We are struggling quite a bit, and I don't know if this Barcelona team with that defense is gonna be can really compete and win as much as last season. I think the next game in El Clásico will be a very big test for that, and that's sort of what I wanted to lead into. So the things that you need to worry you about for the next game for El Clásico are basically number one, that offside trap is kind of weak. It's very bad. We're really, really struggling. Alejandro Valde is such a big incorporation back from his injury. That's going to be good to have him back. I think Eddie Garcia, that's a partnership that is working so far. I think Flick is finding the best partnership with them too. But Araujo, I just feel that Araujo against, particularly, the strong, fast strikers that Real Madrid could have, like Mbappe, like Rodrigo, like Vinicius. I think that Araujo has been there and done it before. So I don't know. I particularly always, that I'm Team Araujo all the way. So yeah, I always kind of put his name in the ring. I always like to put his name up for debate. The next point that you need to keep in mind is that injuries. Are we going to get them back? Because our attack looks very, very inconsistent without them. Without a proper number 9, we look lost. We look really, really lost. That first goal that came was from Pedri, that was really pushing further forward. Actually, I think that was a good incorporation from Hansi Flick, putting Casado and Frankie de Jong together and letting Pedri sort of free roam a little bit more into the attack. I think that worked nicely, but we need to be a little bit more worried of that. I think that Pedri needs to be deeper, controlling the game. I think that is something that could have helped us a lot more in this game if it happened early on, and particularly against Real Madrid with the Xabi Alonso team that has that Arda Güler X factor in the midfield as well. And last but not least, I would say that we definitely 100% are going to be missing out on Hansi Flick, because Hansi Flick today got a red card. He was sent off, and he's not going to be playing. He will not playing, but he's not going to be on the sidelines for a Clásico, and that's a huge, huge miss. We've seen instances before. Can anybody tell me in the comment box down below if Barcelona have ever won a Clásico without their manager on the sideline, or any instances like that of big matches, big maybe matchups in the Champions League or in the World Cup of teams without their manager? But Hansi Flick not being there is always going to be a huge, huge miss. So Hansi Flick is not going to be in the game against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. It's going to be a very big miss. But I'm hoping that particularly the thing that I'm most worried about is the attacking injuries. We need to get some players back, and hopefully they can happen even sooner against Olympiacos, so they can get a little bit of rhythm back. Anyhow, guys, that's going to be all it for today, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully in the new studio. And yeah, see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.